Good afternoon, friends. It's a great honor and privilege to stand in front of you here and deliver this presidential lecture. I'd like to thank the BIOS Executive Committee, especially great thanks to Amit for asking me to do this talk. This is an unusual one because we haven't done a BIOS presidential lecture generally. So I thought I could talk to you about the evolution of BIOS to see where we started from, where we are now, and where I hope the society will go forwards to. As with any society, we had a pre-gestational period, and speaking to the founder members, when this became consultant in the late 80s and early 90s, there was a feeling that there should be something given back to their motherland. And the stalwarts under the leadership of Mr. B. N. Mudu, Mr. Murthy, Babu Piravali, Ravi Koka, and Srinivas Markaram got together and formed the society. At that stage, there was no formal name to the society. They first held the IOS meeting in Eastbourne on 15th of May 1999 with an annual fees of £10. This was supported by the BOA, and I'm so pleased that BOA has been partners with the IOS UK at the beginning and the BIOS as we stand now. And the then President Chris Colton and Mr. David Jones, who was the secretary and later on became the president in 2004, were supporting the idea of the Indian Orthopaedic Society. Some of you may remember this day. This was when the World Cup was held in England. And speaking to Mr. Murthy, he is quite annoyed that he missed the meeting and he went to see the India-South Africa match, and the rest is history, as they say. These are some of the pictures, rare pictures that we see with Mr. Mudu, Mr. Koka, amongst the pictures that I can recognize. The name of the society was only formalized 4 years later in 2003, and it was called the Indian Orthopaedic Society. And the society was fairly advanced even at that stage when they had a website which was under the IndianOrthopaedicsociety.org and which was maintained by Mr. Markram and his family and his team for a number of years till we changed the name. At that time, the membership fees was £100 to join, which I'm pleased to say is still the case. At the beginning, there was an annual membership fees for £25, but this no longer is there. Interestingly, the membership at that time was under 50, and the potential was thought to be around 500. Where we stand now is currently over 500 with the potential of nearly 2,000. So we've still got some time to go. We've talked about having a journal for the society, and this is not new, as you can see, in 2003. And as Bob alluded earlier, part of the BIOS ethos has been to involve the family and have some social event. And generally, the executive committee meetings were held in the president or the secretary's house with thanks to the family. Taking you through the progress, in 2004, it was noted that there was a tenfold increase in the membership numbers, and the attendees from 22 in Cumbria in 2000 increased to 36 in Manchester, 82 in Birmingham, and crossed 100 in Hartlepool in 2003. And that's where we are. I mean, we get to about 150, and I would love to get better and more involvement of the society members. Where are we today with the hybrid meeting? We got about 180 plus online via our website, 20 plus local attendees, and 800 plus via Ortho TV. So we have grown quite significantly. The Eastbourne meeting came back in 2004, and this is why it's remembered quite well, is that the caterers didn't turn up for the meeting, and Mrs. Koka, and this is fondly remembered by the older members of the society, Mrs. Koka cooked dinners for 101 members at the last minute. As the society progressed, there was thoughts about doing more for the membership, and the fellowship, the traveling fellowship we now run, including the senior and the junior fellowship with IOA. We also ran the BOTA fellowship, and I heard from the new president that we're going to restart this. We also have a number of state fellowships that runs. As the society grew, there was thought about doing an Indian summer, And I remember speaking to Mr. Mudu that he spoke to the BOA offices, and there was thoughts of getting Indian speakers, as he felt that the English-speaking countries were invited to the BOA. But although we formed a large contingent, the Indian diaspora and the Indian surgeons, there were not many Indian surgeons coming to the BOA. And that idea came to fruition in 2004 when we held the first Indian Summer. And since 2006, we've held one every 3 years. And this year in Aberdeen, we have another session. And given the stature of the society and our role in education and bridging between Indian and British orthopedics, we have been given two 90-minute sessions, one on infection, which is the theme of the conference, as well as keeping along the same lines, we'll have stalwarts from the British Orthopedic Association and British Orthopedics talk on painful joint after surgery. My association with BIOS has been for 12 years now. When I joined, there were about 200 members plus. And again, the membership drive has always been there. And I think as a society, most societies have this on. That was the first time the BOA and the IOA president were invited to the meeting. We had over 120 delegates in 2010. And that was the first time we ever had a conference booklet. And I'm looking forward to this year's as well. These are some of the pictures, and you can see some of the eminent members. This is an 11-year-old picture with the 4 presidents and the previous presidents in this picture. As the society grew, it was felt that the IOS name or the Indian Orthopedic Society name didn't appear right. And as Mr. Murthy Golapuri mentioned in his award receipt, that we thought that we should change with the times, and the name of the society was changed to British Indian Orthopedic Society to reflect the changes. And we've been recognized as a specialist society by the BOA for a few years now. What has the society achieved in the last 2 years under my presidentship is we've arranged webinar for core trainees, which have been well attended, over 80 on each webinar. We also did webinar for medical students on their request, which was very well received, and we plan to continue with this. We now have social media presence. Our YouTube channel has over 250 subscriptions, considering it's just about 12 months old. And we have over 4,000 viewings on the same. We also have a Facebook page, and we have a confirmed status as a specialist society with the BOA. We've signed up with an MOU with the Ortho TV channel, which will help promote the education across the globe. Where do I see the future go with the society? I think currently we have council divided into the exec and the EdCom groups. I certainly would like to see that every member is elected, i.e. like the BOA, where all the council members are done via election rather than some of them doing a selection. Membership drive has to continue. We need to encourage newer generation, especially second generation Indian orthopedic surgeons to become members. And the way to do that would be to encourage them to become members of the society at a younger age, perhaps consider giving it to the medical students. We need to look at extending the membership like a lot of the specialist society have done. So the allied health professional, i.e. the clinical specialists, the physios, and the rehab specialists. We must focus also on the medical students. And I've been lucky that during my tenure, we've been contacted by the medical students themselves, and we're looking to have a medical wing of the BIOS. We need to encourage juniors and trainees to be part of this, and that is the only way the society will make progress. We must encourage innovation, and to that aspect, I'm going to advise the incoming team to look at ways how do we support innovation, certainly in the younger age group members. I'd like to congratulate Deepa Bose for being elected to the BOA Council, Vijay Balaik to the Best Council, and I've also just recently heard that Professor Harvinder Singh has also been elected to the Best Journal Council. Lastly, just to see the changes from 2010 to 2021. Just put a question mark. Where do I see myself in 2031? As I finish, I would like to thank my wife and my family to have stood around for these last years, as it has taken some time and the President does get involved quite significantly, and without their support, I wouldn't be where I am. Thank you very much.
Hello, PJ. This may come as a surprise to you. I think you have done a marvelous job over the last 2 years, and I'm very much aware that this is going to be your last presidential address. Particularly during this cloud of COVID, you discovered the silver lining of our educational webinars, and we have gone worldwide across on this. So thank you very much for doing that. Above all, I think it's your pragmatic approach, it's your common sense and level-headedness, and the friendship in the Office Bearers Group. And on behalf of the Society, I would like to present you with this Excellence Award for your time with us as President. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And continue to be part of the Society.
Thank you.